You can go ahead and take a seat if you would. You're welcome. I know how the knees get in the older age. Just kidding. So we're Unspoken from all over the world. We've got 2 guys from Maine, 1 guy from Florida, 2 guys from Puerto Rico. Woo! Hallelujah. Gloria a Dios. Santo. Amen. You know one thing I've learned? I have learned to enjoy the diversity that God has given us as a people and a creation, man. And us as believers should be celebrating our differences and enjoying them because they're beautiful. And I've learned a lot about the Spanish culture. I know how to order my own food in Spanish. Well, one thing I learned that is very different than every other culture is Spanish mothers have an incredible weapon. It's called a chancleta. Woo! And that means in English, flip-flop. And legend tells it that a Spanish mom has such accuracy, such deadly aim, that she can bend a flip-flop around her doorway and hit a kid right in the back of the head. Right. So the lesson here is obey your mama. All kids, not just Spanish kids. So, you know, we thought back in the day, we traveled around. I was telling you a little bit about that, in that Cadillac, and we didn't have a big sound system, and we didn't have lights, and we didn't have a whole tour bus or nothing. We just had a couple of guys who traveled around with the instruments that we could fit in the back of a van or back of a car. And so we thought, man, you know, it'd be fun to do a part of our show tonight, just like we did 16 years ago when we started. And you remember that when we used to roll around in those vans and it was terrible? I mean, can you imagine being stuck in a van with 5 or 6 grown men? Men are gross, okay? Men are gross, and I am the grossest of all. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know why I feel led to tell you this tonight, but if I ever stay at your house and I forgot my toothbrush, I'm going to use yours. You'll never know about it. Very resourceful. But, you know, we've been doing this 16 years, and, you know, when we started, I mean, John hadn't even come close to even, did you even have a girlfriend yet? I mean, he dated the first girl, he married the first girl he ever dated. He's about to have his 3rd kid in 2 weeks here coming up, so that's pretty cool. And Ariel, I mean, shoot, when we started, Ariel, he had hair on the top of his head and no hair on his face. That was pretty cool. And he just celebrated the birth of his first grandchild, so that was pretty cool because that boy who had this baby, AJ, his oldest son, was what, maybe 8 or 10 when we started? And we've seen him grow up. It's been beautiful. And we've definitely hit a lot of ups and downs, but we've done it together, and God has been with us. And of course, I don't know, for the last couple of years, we've been traveling with Alan, who we met on the road on a tour, and Wiso, who's a very famous guitar player, and all of our friends that are also Spanish that play in the Christian music industry were drooling when they told us that we had Wiso playing, because he's been playing for years for all sorts of huge acts, and so it's awesome to have these guys join in the last couple of years or so, and it's been a lot of fun. But all of us, one thing we definitely have in common is that all of us are parents. And for me, you know, my kids, I got a 12-year-old boy, 8-year-old girl, no, 12-year-old boy, 9-year-old girl, and 6-year-old girl. And they bug me so bad. Because my boy, who's this wonderful kid, but he does normal kid stuff, he teases the heck out of his sisters. And do you have a child, maybe probably the middle child, that makes a sound like this? Ah! I hate that sound. And every time that sound happens, I immediately think it's my son doing something to my daughter. And 90% of the time it is. And so I'm always like, what are you doing? Stop! Gosh, I hate that sound. Just anything but that. And I realized that in my own life, being an adult and trying to keep your your whole life together, your marriage together, your job, all the pressures that you have. And the fact of the matter is, believe me, we've seen things from our childhood come up and rear their head through the form of anxiety and depression and all sorts of stuff. In the middle of adulthood, coming out of nowhere, and there's a lot on your shoulders, there's a lot on my shoulders. And to tell you, I just don't have a lot of patience when I'm barely hanging on myself for kids acting a fool. And so I kind of saw this. God showed me a little while ago. I was being too hard on my son, and so I took my son aside. He's 12. I grabbed him by the face, you know, and he's like all awkward. His eyes were going, you know, why are you doing this? And I told him, dude, I just want you to know that I love you, that I am for you, I am with you, I'm on your side, that I'm proud of who you are. And I say things that I don't mean sometimes because I'm mad and God needs to work in my heart even more. But the fact of the matter is, the truth is that you're valued and loved and supported. And even if you make mistakes on purpose or by accident, I'm with you. And it was like the moment those words came out of my mouth, it was like the Spirit of God whispered to my heart, I feel the same way about you. We make mistakes, we're going to fall over and over and over again. But the beautiful thing about the love of God is that He loves us regardless of what we do. We can never earn His love. We can never make Him love us more by doing good things or vice versa, because God is love, and it is so freeing as an adult to know that you are loved regardless of the wrong turns and mistakes you make. Do you believe?